Well, guys, how's it going? Kind of got ahead here. I wasn't make video of this, so I'm at putting the hydraulic pump in the 4850. So I got her set in here. It's your hydraulic pump. Got that back from John Stevens a couple days ago, and was working on cleaning most of the built-up crud inside the frame and stuff. And see some of the remnants on the ground there. It gets pretty nasty in there, so it's a hard place to get cleaned out decent. So I got the big chunks out anyways. They're like they will get pressure washed out, but it'll do for now. So yeah, so I'll bring you guys back when I proceed tightening up bolts and putting the hoses and setting the radiator, and I'm going to show you bit and piece by piece. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. Let the 44 warm up earlier, so okay, they'll be like a video. See, I got some fixing to do, so oh well, it'll be something. Alright, well, I made a little progress. Show you. Put a new one of these in. Goes right in between here. That's the 50 styles update. 20s, 10s, 20s, 30s got a rubber, or like a nylon rubber, kind of a pieces that go here and here, and then it clamps together. I've showed it before. This is a 50 series update. That's what they did. They put that in there. Coupling. We'll put a new one of these in there since while you're in there, and this one's starting to go apart. Got the bolts all tightened. This line was kind of a pain in the butt, just the way it sits in there. You kind of got to really get it, you know, you don't want to cross some threads. I've done it before, and that's a real big pain in the ass. So got all 4 bolts. There's 2 on each side. There's one down here and here, and then on the other side. So the return line hooked up. I'm going to work on these lines. I'm probably going to get the radiator next, but this is done. And hydraulic pump housing, this piece here holds the hydraulic pump to the engine, is tightened up. Had to take that loose so we could bring the pump up enough to slide it out. It sits inside here. So on the other ones I never had to do that. I always had enough room to pull them out. So alright, rambled on here enough. Keep assembling. I don't know if I'll get this the end of the day, probably not, but I'm going to keep working on it. Alright, making some progress. I got the radiator on, shroud in. I don't have the hoses tightened up yet. Yeah, there's a lot of different pieces. 50 series, 40, 50. I don't know if the like the 4440 or 4430, they don't have this kind of plate in here, so it's a little difference between them. I don't know why they have such a heavy plate in there, but whatever. But that sits underneath the radiator. Yeah, it's like your reservoir. That I don't have it all tightened up yet, but I got it all hooked up. I got to put the oil cooler and your air conditioning condenser, which is right there, in yet. I'll probably do that. Hook that all up. Just get my chores done, I guess. So I'll be doing some video in the dark because I want to get this thing together here, hopefully tonight. So yeah, the radiator's kind of a bear to get in by yourself, but it's not too bad. But yeah, got the radiator. That has all been cleaned. It was really dirty. There was some overheating issues before this hydraulic pump went out, so I took it in the parlor and I soaked it all up with soap and sanitizer, then washed it out, and boy, there was a lot of dirt in there. So that's nice to have that all nice and clean, sure on cool again. So yeah, so alright, now just showing you progress on assembly. So alright, we'll bring you back and get done with chores, or we'll see what happens. So Alright, well, I got the oil cooler and condenser in. I'm going to turn on the light here. Let's see more. These lines here are for your air conditioner. I kind of messed up on that whole ordeal. I should have laid them in there before I put the radiator in, because they go underneath the cushion block of the radiator. I'm so used to the 30s and 40s series, they just tuck along the edge and go underneath, and they come up around. I didn't pay much attention to it, so yeah, it took me a whole lot of extra time because I had to pry the radiator back up because I got all the hose clamps and everything tightened up. I had the radiator tightened down and yada yada yada, but and the oil lines all hooked up and all tightened up. So yeah, so it took me a little more time than it should have. But well, lesson learned, I guess. There's little rubber hooks molded into the radiator blocks to hold them your air conditioning lines in, and I seen that and then didn't think about it, but it's kind of in a hurry taking it apart. I didn't pay much attention, so it's my own fault and cost me time. So alright, well, I got them in, hooked up, tightened up, so now last thing to do is put the fuel tank on. So I'm going to do that tomorrow in the light. It takes a little extra messing around, especially if I'm by myself. If I had two people, it'd be great, but definitely, well, maybe I can get Kelsey to help me, but see what happens. I got a million other things to do tomorrow too, so yeah. So this concludes for tonight anyways, so everything else is about ready to go. So get the fuel tank on, it won't take much more. I just gotta hook up fuel gauge wires. There's 4 bolts to hold the fuel tank on, and I got some clamps there. They mount to the tank for your reservoir, just to hold the reservoir, and then hose clamps right there for hold your oil lines all together so they don't vibrate against themselves. Mount on the tank too. That's not too much. So hopefully tomorrow sometime here I'll have this 4850 running. So I get the fuel tank on, hook fuel line up. I'm not going to put the hood on or put any antifreeze in until I put the batteries in. I got new batteries. I still run a 6-volt system. It's just, I don't know. I'd like to change over 12, but I can't do it right now because it's on it. It still works. So it's nice to have a 12-volt system, but I'm going to run it and make sure everything's not leaking, just in case I have to dismantle or pull the radiator out of the way to tighten something up, because it's in the way of, not too much, but it is easy to work on things when the radiator's not right in your way. So we'll start her up, run her for a few minutes, and then I got to check the oil pressure, hydraulic pressure. Supposed to run it, I think it's 2250. I don't have my own gauge, but I borrowed my neighbor's. He's got a gauge. So we'll put her on the SVCs in the back here, hydraulic couplers in the back. And if I need to adjust that, I got to adjust on the pump. Thinking I'm probably going to have to adjust on it, but I'm hoping I'm not. It'd be nice if just we're good, but John didn't test it. He just him and his dad are both together, rebuilt it and threw it together and sent her back down here. So he doesn't have the ability yet to be able to run the pumps. He's going to figure out some system. He really wants to do that, which would be great, because then you could just flop the pump in and you know you're good to go. So, but not that big a deal. Little adjusting, little messing around with that. So, alright, this I better long enough, so tomorrow. Alright, I'm not putting the fuel tank on. You guys back when I get her set in there again. Alright, well, it looks different. I'm trying to figure out my camera. It's not, I don't know if I've been dropping it too much or none of the pictures are coming in decent, so I put it on a different mode. It's like wide angle or something. I don't know, you guys see everything now, so. Alright, well, I got everything on. Radiator's empty though. I left that empty. Fuel tank's on, hooked up, fuel line's got, I primed the fuel up. So batteries are in. So we'll see what happens, I guess. Went up. Steering's kind of straightening itself out. I hear oil going in the pump, the air slugs or whatever. So far, no leaks. I'm gonna get my get the gauge here and check the pressure in the back one, so I'll bring it back. I don't have enough pressure to pressure the gauge. I can tell the see the 3 points struggling. So that means I gotta turn the pressure up on the pump. So yeah, they're struggling. Maybe let it run a little bit, maybe air in the system too. You struck oil. That line right there. It's got a wear spot on it. I come around the front here, shut her off, and she's spitting out oil. So that's not too bad. I'll take that line off. And I'll have to braze it. Yeah, I figured out my camera. Works better now. I had to mess around with the settings. Anyways, I got the line brazed. I got that leak fixed. I did some adjusting on the pump. I actually adjusted the pump all the way. Not all of it, all the way. There's a oh, we'll get past that. Well, see that? Oh, if I can show you guys here. That nut there's a lock nut, and then there's a Allen wrench head in there, and that's how you turn the hydraulic pressure up on these pumps. So there's the bottom of the pump, there's the back side of the pump. So I did that, and so we don't have decent oil pressure. Oh, bear with me, guys, here. Inside, that's inside the transmission. It's not supposed to be doing that. So I have some internal bleeding. There's a valve on top. I talked to John Stevens. He said to Go after that valve first. And because that valve could be letting all the oil pressure go by. It's stuck open or shut or whatever. I don't know which way it is, but it's up. It's up back in there. Yeah, I can't see it real good from here, but there's a line that comes on the other side of that. Camera shut off. Anyways, there's a valve up in there. It's a flow control valve, and I'm gonna go after that. See if that's a problem. If not, I'll have to go farther. So, yeah, that's that. So, not what I wanted, more stuff to fix, but whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, so I'm hoping I don't have to get inside to get at it. I don't really have the time for that. I was really hoping to get this tractor going and get him on the disc spine, and he'll finish up corn plant and stuff. But see once, maybe I can get that in there and out of there real quick, and or out of there, then fixed and back in there. However you want to go at it. But yeah, well, it's farther than what it was. Larry stopped by his boards. He took the drive shaft off for me. U-joints out. What'd you think? This one was good, yeah, but this one not so good. So, and it effed up the cross a little bit too. So, she jumped. What? Here's Mabel. She wants the weed whip. And yeah, so hopefully you're get this figured out and get it going. We have got some rain, you guys are wondering, and the corn's up, so that's nice. Now we just want for the rain to stop. So tomorrow is going to be about the only day of sunshine, and we got a chance to rain every day after that again, so for the next 3-4 days. So can't shut her off. Oh well. Okay, thanks for watching, and yeah, the sun. Catch you on the next one. See ya.